Welcome back to Timeless Conversations. This is a continuation of our previous episode, the one that was talking about our experiences, our vast experience, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Vast indeed.
Yes, with maids, nannies, house managers, house helps,
Those people.
our partners in this home management thing. Yeah. So if you haven't watched part 1, please kindly go back, and so we can have a seamless conversation. Yeah. I would like to ask my ladies, how do you do the hiring? Do you go through a structured interview where you ask them questions, or do they just come? They do the work as you do the correction?
For me, I don't think I really structure the interview, but I ask a few questions that I find necessary. Not really a whole list of interview questions like how our job interviews are. And I think that is because most of my maids are through referrals of someone I know refers, there's a good girl here. You could take her if you need her and stuff like that. So because I'm counting on the word of that person, usually these are people I know, I don't overly interview, so I just ask them a few questions of how are you with children? Do you love children? You're going to be taking care of whatever age my son is. Is that a problem for you? Are you sickly? Do you really want to work? What are your salary expectations? We negotiate if we have to, but really most times we don't.
The industry has dictated.
Yes. How do you want me to pay you? Do you have a phone? Like those things, they're just basic things. But usually when she comes over is when I now communicate my expectations. But usually I just ask basic questions, and because I base on referrals a lot, I allow the other person to vet them first before I bring them. Yeah.
Dave?
Yes, I know when you talked about do you want to work? I recently was asking my house help because a friend of mine needed help. So I told her, do you have of anyone who wants to work? Then I was like, I'm not talking about someone who wants money. I'm referring to someone who wants to work, because those are two different things. And she found it so funny, yeah. But I was like, yeah, I mean, some people want money, but they don't want to work, and we don't want such people in our homes. Yeah, but on whether or not I interview them or anything like that. So it's not really like an interview, almost like Robinah, but rather like I get to know you, like just basic information before you even set off to come. Things like, for me, like age is important. I'm like, how old are you? Because I don't want to hire a minor, yeah. And then I also don't want someone who is like so mature compared to me, because experience has it that, those ones also want to mother you in your own home. Yeah, so just ask basic information. Are you married? Do you have a child? Because, all those help you to get like an idea of the kind of person you're getting. Then, of course, most important question, salary. Like, so what's your salary expectation? You give me your expectation and then I tell you how much I was planning to pay you. Sometimes maybe what I'm planning to pay is a little higher, or maybe it's a little less. So what I've come to learn, I don't usually start off with what I normally pay. But like just like for like a probation period, I'm like, okay, are you willing to come and work? I'm like, this is what I usually pay, but for the start to check commitment, this is what I pay. Are you willing to come and work for that? And because that shows whether the person is really just after money, or if this is someone who is, looking for work and they're willing to stay and actually, yeah. So just preliminary questions, and then of course I ask them if they also have anything they want to ask me, and yeah. So mostly this is usually actually over the phone, eh?
I know.
You
Yeah.
haven't met the person.
I know.
So you don't know what the person looks like. Like you know nothing about the person. You know, usually just go and trust them.
I know. And yet,
And you'll be
that's why me, I
disappointed.
do a lot of referrals.
Exactly.
Because, if you get some random person, you don't know where they come from, you don't know their parents, you don't know their background. Anything can happen, like anything wrong can happen because they're going to be having your child at home, especially when they're young
And can't speak.
and can't speak. So for me, I decided to stick with referrals entirely. Then I also ask whether they are Christian because I'm going to tell you, you will have to go to my church because you will have to take my son, like, in case I'm not around, you need to be accustomed to the church and take my son to Sunday school, those things. So that's also another important question I ask. Yeah. Also age. But me, I've come to not pay a lot of attention to age because sometimes back then I used to be like, I want someone from 18 to 20. I want someone from 25 to this. But then I realized these are people who give me the most headache.
18 to 20.
No, not necessarily that, but that's like when I stick to like a certain criteria of age, they're the ones that give me the most headache. So I decided, let the person who has recommended tell me how these people are before telling me their age, so that you can get to know whether or not you want to hire them. And it turns out even the older ones have given me less headache. But the young ones, you people, the ones who are excited about boyfriends, the ones who are excited about a phone, the ones who are excited.
I have told myself this age thing.
Not infants, not young children.
I don't even need an organization policy to tell me about not hiring a minor, but I'm not hiring a minor anymore. You know those kids that are between 16 and 18?
Yeah.
Oh my God. They are so childish.
You
will end
but
up
there are
having-
some mature ones.
15.
They are
16.
there. I've had one, I think.
I've
But this
had
one
a
was
bad
just
experience.
more of a playmate for my son.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
But if you want someone who is going to be
Exactly.
accountable, you're going to tell them this is your KPI.
You
this is
don't
what do.
expect the most from them.
No, like keep your expectations on the low.
Yes.
But also this age thing I've realized, when you hire an older, actually for me, I've put my criteria between 22 and 28. And God, that has been such a success.
Yeah.
The older ones are
Because
better.
you don't pass on so much instruction. In fact, I've learned they have initiative in their mind. Even if you have not told them something, because they are adults, they know what should be done. They will do.
They can communicate better.
You know that they will not need a reminder of when a child is sick. They will call you and tell you the child is not okay. What do we do? You can even trust that they will pass on some medication because some of these orals after hospital.
Yes, you instruct them and they can.
5 meals, which is 2 times a day.
They know, which a minor won't be able to do, even if they did anyway. It would be on you if they did it wrongly.
Yeah.
But also I've learned, because you take so much time to train a young child, the minor ones that are in the 16 and what, when they leave, you get so heartbroken because you've invested so much. So for me, I've made up my mind. No minors at my home.
Let me tell you a story. So I had this, she wasn't so young, and I only took her in because where she was staying, she was in the most toxic environment. So she used to stay at someone's place near my home. And this lady over used to do what? You don't even understand what she does. But she literally took on the mother role of this lady's child. This woman would go for weeks that she's not at home. So it's this girl who takes care of the child, takes care of the house. They sleep only 2 with the baby in the house. So it was out of compassion, and my mom told me, there's this girl. I think we need to take her up. And for me, I really took her up because it was around 2021, around that second COVID period. So I really just took her on because Jaden wasn't going to school. I just needed someone to play with him. And for me, I used to do everything myself. We just wanted to rescue her from that home, literally. Because even when that woman would come back, she would beat her. Yet she has been taking care of your child.
But also some employers. What the hell?
She would find something wrong. But I really can't blame her because, first of all, what was she doing? How do you leave your child with someone that young?
I know.
You get? So my mom was like, let's rescue this girl. And we did. So I brought her. They were really Banang, they used to play. And Jaden had a blast. They used to enjoy. So I enrolled Jaden, you know those homeschooling things, that time when they were booming. I enrolled him in school. I also took her along. So she started learning because she didn't know any English. She didn't know anything. And I figured, I can't even send her to the shop. So I started sending them both to school. Wake up in the morning, I take them to school and continue to work. So eventually she started picking up. She was those people who would coil in a corner. But eventually, she was traumatized.
Yeah.
So eventually, she started opening up, being cheerful, being jolly. And you will see this is life in this child. She would go to school, she would come back with stories at the homeschooling place. The other teacher would teach the Jadens, their age group. And then later, when they've given these ones work, go and teach her.
As well.
From zero.
Wow.
Even her fee was higher than for the little boy. Because it was a lot of work. So she picked up. That's the only reason why I took
You've
her
ever
in.
hired a minor?
Yes. And by the time she left, of course she developed Kajanja eventually. I enrolled her even in a UPE school here.
Rescue missionary.
My dear. No, she was doing so well in the other homeschool. I was like, now, I terminate, I will stop this. No, I think she needs to learn. I think she needs to learn more. It might not help me, but it will help her in the future. Sure, I enrolled her in the school, and they took her to P1. Actually, they wanted to take her to nursery, but she said she's too young for now because she didn't know anything. So they took her to P1, and school used to excite her, but it was such a good experience to watch.
But at least you gave her a start.
Yeah.
At least that whole field of trying literacy. That was so kind of.
But by the time she left,
she
she had Kajanja. When she left, she was so big-headed.
You don't know educated women.
Clearly.
She had developed a character.
Hey, but
she used to say things.
Age is a criteria, clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. And I wanted to ask you, ladies, when you're hiring these ladies, these our partners, do you put into consideration medical checkups? Is it because there are two schools of thought? One, because you have kids, it's of course prudent that you get to know the medical status of the person that you're bringing home. But also there's this school of thought that it is intrusive. It's an invasion of privacy. So how do you balance it out?
Well, personally, I am for not doing the medical checkup. Yeah. I still go back to my employer, would my employer invade my privacy to the extent of to that level? Yeah. In any case, pregnancy, if she's pregnant, it will reveal itself and she will go. Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. Yeah. If it's any other health condition, as long as it's not stopping her from doing her work, then there's no reason for me to send her away. Maybe something I should mention before I let anyone in my house after that first bad experience. I first pray to God and like, God, do not let someone into my house that you've not set apart. How you go for a partner to marry. Now it's the same way I go before God and I'm like, please help me. Bring the right person into our home, bring the right person into our family. And I would want to believe that if I have prayed and gone before God and brought my need and the person comes, anything else that happens after that, I'll still go back to God and say, but God, I came to you. So if I have trusted that he's going to be able to just bring the right person, because I know most people worry, but if my child also gets, the whatever, maybe also gets infected, gets sick, gets what, I know that's what most people fear, but there's so many things to fear. How much more in fear are we going to live? You leave your child with this person every day. Is that the only thing they can do to harm your child? There's a lot that can happen. But if we choose to just trust that ultimately it is God protecting this child and not this person. So for me, that's one of the reasons as to why I don't.
So you don't test?
I don't.
I don't also test. But I think I've tested before.
And what were your reasons?
I tested because I was just following bandwagon, honestly.
But why don't you test?
I don't test because I feel like it's an invasion of someone's privacy. But I think when they consent, it should be okay. But trust me, if someone is sick and they know
what choice do they have? They want that job, so
Auntie,
they will consent.
let me tell you, when they are sick and they know it, they'll even turn you down. Like, they'll say, no, don't test me, let me not take the job. Because that's prejudice already. Like, you're coming to hire them with a biased mind of they want to harm your child, or they are sick and they might spread the sickness to them. Like, you get. So for me, I honestly don't. Like I said, now later in this maid's journey, I just decided to pray. I really tell God, please help me deal with this person well. Help me speak to them well. Help me to relate with them as a human being. Help me to walk this journey right. In any case, let me not be the one who will push her away from my home. And please protect my child. If there's something I pray for in this entire wide world, is for God to cover my child. And for me, that comes to trusting God with taking care of him, whether or not, because at school, do you know the children that interact with him? Maybe they have hepatitis B, maybe they have whooping cough, maybe they have all these things. You get? Like, you can never know. You take him to a playground, maybe the children that he's playing with have chicken pox. You can never know. So for me, I just told God, you gave me this son. I will be your steward here on earth, but he's entirely yours. Please take care of him. And I trust him, and let God take the lead. Yeah.
Interesting. I check. And these are my reasons. It's not that I'm faithless. No, I am not. But as a mom, I feel like I have to do more than just praying. Because even the Bible is clear, faith without action is dead. And because I know, I've worked in the medical sector, I've worked with the legal sector. I know what a human mind can do if they are angered. But also I know that not all of us are righteous. There are people out there that are begrudged. They've been infected and they are looking for who to infect. So I test for the safety of my people. I know that there are people who test for the wrong reasons. I know that crazy women out there just because they know they have philandering husbands. Yeah. So that is the wrong reason. But for me, I do it for my children. There is a case I recently had of a maid deliberately wanted to infect a child. Okay, this is not even to stigmatize, but it happens.
It does
so
happen.
She cut the baby, and because the baby couldn't speak, it was caught on camera. She cut herself, so she was exchanging her blood from her forehead to the child.
How evil can you be?
Evil people out there. There are people evil. There are people who are evil out there. So for me, to cover my children, not that I don't pray. Of course, I cover them with the blood. Yes, I do. However, I want to take an extra step and make sure that the people that I'm bringing home are not the ones that are going to put me into total misery. Because one slight mistake like this, and you have an infected child. And you will never forgive yourself as a mother. That is why I check, but not every time. I am also human. Sometimes I forget. 1 month goes down and like, because I didn't check this one. So
then you go and check.
Yes, and then I still go and check. And before I hire you, I ask for your consent. I say I would love to check for A, B, C, D. Are you okay with that?
So what are those things that you check?
I normally do HIV tests. I don't do pregnancy. I do HIV and hepatitis, right? Because I know these are the ones that can easily be passed on. And I also check for TB. Because I know that it's important for you. I know how expensive TB can get to be treated. So I check for that as well. But I don't do it from a bad place. But also I don't want to bring someone who is going to be weak. Right? Some of these infections weaken someone.
Of course.
Yeah. But for me, I have treated this whole maid thing as an employment. I know of very many jobs that require you to go through medical checkups before you're hired. Yeah. And it is even done routinely. After every contract renewal, you check. Right? So I don't think it is invasive of someone's privacy in that way. For me, if they have consented, I take it that you're an adult, you understand what you're getting yourself into, and so we check.
So if they don't consent, would that be like
a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. It is a deal breaker because I've made it a point that for me it's a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable that I want a healthy person. I don't want to employ someone who is not able to take on certain tasks, right? Because, also the work is quite heavy for someone who is sick. And that is why even age...
Why are you refusing to be tested? That sounds fishy, you get?
Yes. Why would you refuse to be tested if you don't
already know their status and...
Yeah, which is okay, because...
I know you're saying it's not really about stigmatizing, but imagine if they were positive, imagine if every person they went to checked them, found they were positive, and if I employed them, would that mean that they would never work?
They can work elsewhere.
No, I'm just, bringing up that perspective. So,
I hear you from a human point. Yes. Others don't check. Probably, by the way, maybe if my children were older, and they can speak, I'm okay. We actually at home we used to hire them at home because we were older. We can speak. If something like that happened where someone is cutting and exchanging blood, I would speak and tell my mom. But now I'm talking about toddlers who are not able to speak for themselves. So no, for now. But maybe later I could have a change of mind. But for now, no, I'm not hiring someone infected with TB because it is contagious, right? And anything to do with public health, really, I am very, very particular. Yeah. And then the age thing, for me, just like you would say, I can't hire an 80-year-old. It's the same way I say I can't hire someone infected. And that's it.
Understandably so.
My other question to you ladies is, when these ladies come in, do you check their property?
Bananga, I never used to check.
But now you do.
Has someone ever packed your things?
No, leave alone when they are leaving. When they are
coming. Auntie. Has someone ever... Auntie, now you need to know what they came with, what you've given them, and how they are leaving. So, for me, the awakening came when I was robbed. You guys. They've even packed things that they don't need. I know. And you're like, why didn't you just ask?
How petty though?
And you're like, why didn't you just ask?
I
could have given you even more. But these girls, I don't know.
I'm laughing. And I was still staying at home. There's one who came. For some reason, I don't remember. She came in the evening and had to leave in the morning. But you guys, in the morning, she had packed things.
You guys.
She had come to pack.
She came to steal.
I don't remember the reason why she
was
leaving immediately. but just the fact that, but personally, I don't normally do the checking, but sometimes when I feel, that I think I need to, I do. Especially not like the first one.
That one you
Like
couldn't
some
check.
of the things she had taken.
Hey.
I found my swimming costume.
Where was she going to
Where
swim
did she
from?
even get it from? Like, how
From
you
the
store
swamp.
like how you store certain clothes, maybe like in the extra bedroom.
Or
closet
like
and
things you don't usually use.
yeah, that's the
deep
thing,
down
yes.
there.
I found my swimming costume. Like,
Where are you
People.
taking this? For me, the reason why I started checking,
Hey.
there's this maid who was living in my house and she had packed things. You guys, even plates.
What?
My son's plates, those cute little plates you buy for children to encourage them to eat. Those cute little things. My son's clothes, my clothes. I'm like, and she's a young girl who hasn't even given birth yet. And I'm like, why is she taking them to the brothers and sisters? So from that day, I never used to check because I'm like, Banag.
I know.
Well, if it were me, yes, if it were me, I wouldn't want someone to, like, I reach and then they empty my bag and make sure they know everything that I've brought. So I was like, let these people be. Nowadays,
You check.
Mama, turn the bag upside down, even the other corners. We shall check because why are you taking my things? What, like, how evil can you be?
You're so angry. You're talking about evil. But wait. Those old albums you used to have, of like hard copy photos?
Yes.
So I have this album that I don't even check on anyway because it's of old pics. The girl was taking my photos. What year was she taking?
Auntie, that's
And I asked her, do you know what she answered? But to remember you. Can you imagine? Earrings,
guys.
my children's clothes, my children's shoes. Okay, of course they had outgrown them, but you can
ask.
Yeah.
And I even give you the full heart.
I
But now
know.
I'm thinking, do you want to go to your jaja and do weird things with my things?
I don't even believe that, but
like, there's so much evil, that like if we even start worrying about all the things we should worry about, we can't sleep. But of course, it's definitely
for me, I will
weird,
forever check.
like someone taking your ears, check. But like, how do you take someone's personal effects?
Photos, really.
That one is the winner.
Cutting no. I had a maid. She would wait for me. These things of you're at your place. You don't want to be overcautious of like you lock the bedroom every time you go up. She got into my bedroom, stole a phone I don't use anymore, picked my SIM card, the SIM card I use for my WhatsApp number.
Imagine.
So I don't use that WhatsApp number because by virtue of my job, I told myself I use only one phone for calls. So one day, someone tells me, I called your worried number. It was going through.
They are still worried. Airtel.
Sorry. I'm that old.
I
You revealed your age.
know. Now we know.
I'm old, guys. So anyway, the guy calls my Airtel number and it goes through. So I was like, no, that number is off. Not possible. Now I'm going to check. And the phone is not there where I kept it. So I ask. I probe. I called them, both of them. Who has taken my number and my phone? Where is that phone and the SIM card? And where are you using my line? Okay, still the phone, but why are you using my line?
Maybe they're minors. They don't have national IDs.
Why did you get into my bedroom?
Yes.
What were you looking for? Like, this is my private space.
I don't
You
think
guys,
you
my
clean it, so
bedroom, I
that's-
treat that room as in so sacred. I don't allow kids and, like. Long story short, I fired her. Because I couldn't imagine what else could they have taken.
Yeah.
You see how you look for your land titles, you can't find them.
I tell now when they are like from around, they can just keep fairing.
Uh-huh.
Just
you look
like
for
okay.
documents. If what are documents, you can't find them and you can't even trace where they went.
Guys.
Wow.
Now they can take you back.
Great.
Maids.
I had to fire her immediately.
So
That
how
one
did
is
you
a
how did you
thief.
figure out which one it was of that?
Of course, maids are funny. They'll even cry. For me, the one who gets more emotional is the culprit.
Not always. Some of us are just crybabies.
Let me tell you.
If you over question us and you're not believing us, we cry.
The thing I've learned about, you see, I normally, like I said, have two. So I've learned all the drama and the antics. I know. And you know what? These things don't lie.
Yeah.
She was the one.
Wow.
And of course, the camera. We rewinded until we got to see her. And we showed her the video. She brought the phone.
Wow.
I don't instigate us cry babies.
No, sometimes the ones who are very emotional. Yeah, of course, I've met those ones who cry over nothing, and then those ones who genuinely cry.
Those who cry when the babies cry.
I have one. She cries. She real cries.
Like, especially when the baby is not keeping quiet.
So I'm not still crying.
I have that one as well. But you see, those ones are just merely emotional. But these ones put drama. I wish I could show you. But long story short, sometimes we hire people whose mannerisms we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to be very vigilant. Like what is important to you? You put some effort to make sure that all is well in the home.
You close your bedroom now.
At all times, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Leave this thing of you can't close your bedroom even when you're around.
No, like when you're away. Now you are here.
I used to do that even when I used to lock my bedroom when I was at home.
Wow.
Yes.
That was the proper
I lock my
That's
bedroom
it.
all the time.
Like
Hey,
she
my
really
friend.
timed you, yeah?
She real time me. Oh, what was I doing? You know when you're having kids and
Wow.
you're all in. You don't mind what's going on at home. Now I look because of that instance.
Even when you're at home.
No.
But you said you used to lock even before.
No. What I meant, oh God, what I meant is now I'm vigilant on who I hire, not that I look.
Yeah, okay. Not even that one was a real thing.
And you know, when I was chasing her, oh my goodness, what I found in her bag. That's the one who was taking my photo,
Don't have that
my
in your
children's
motives.
clothes. And she was young also, 18.
Those young ones.
You'd think, oh, she's so innocent, Bambi, she's, good Lord. My question now is about agencies. How do you hire? Do you go through agencies or do you go to referrals like Robinah said?
I don't know if these are agencies. You know, I want to believe that the agencies, like fully registered organizations.
Wow. Do they exist in this Uganda?
Yes,
Okay.
the ones that do exportation also do some.
Oh my God.
In the country, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I'm following.
They do. Okay, in this context, you mean the ones that are structured? There's a company that does maid hiring and training and.
No, I've never really worked with an agency. Most of the times, it's there are these aunties that are skilled at
Identifying.
identifying. The girl comes naturally away and then spends like a night or two of like mini training. I used to do those, but of late it's more referrals. Not necessarily because I know where your village is, but really like referrals. Like someone good who can work, that kind of thing. Yeah. Actually, me, I do agencies.
How was the experience?
By the way, if you can, stay away from those guys.
Oh,
They are bad news. I've actually learned something new recently with my recent hire. So apparently, those people, because they want a commission off of that, you know what they do? There is real exploitation of labor in this country, and it is not
Right under our noses.
Do you know? They tell those girls the first salary.
Is
swear
theirs.
upon
It's theirs.
Yes,
They're like good fast fruits.
that's what I learned.
And yet you're paying them as well.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. And that's why I'm telling you, there is a real exploitation in this country, and I'm surprised there's no agency that is checking this out. There's no government entity that is
there.
but they're not.
Ministry of
Labor, gender,
Yes.
They're not
It's
doing
the one
that
that's
job
supposed
right.
to govern them.
Recently, I have a guy. I even know him. Like someone recommended that had gotten from them, so I got to know this guy. So I bring that girl. So I think that girl was not properly oriented. So the girl comes to my place. We talk. I have a short interview with her. I ask her, "Are you ready?" Gets into my car because we are now going home in the evening. She tells me, "I've made up my mind. I'm not going to work." I ask her why. What's the problem?
After you've made payments.
Yes, I had already made payments to the agency.
Wow.
So I asked her. Meanwhile, it wasn't the girl's fault.
I'm sure it wasn't.
So the girl tells me, "Auntie, sigenda kusobola." So I ask her, "Why are you not able to come with me?" She tells me that the company has, meanwhile, they first take their ID, their national ID.
Imagine.
Yes. So she explains to me that they told me the whole of my first salary is going to the company. So my mama has called me and told me, "Let us leave that job." Oh my God. So I called the company. Meanwhile, to top it all, the company told me the girl was coming from Eastern Uganda, Tororo. So I paid a lot of money.
For transport.
Actually, she was coming from Busia.
They
Busia.
usually like Arua.
And they are the expensive places.
Exactly. So I paid a lot of money in transporting the girl on top of the agency fee.
So you pay the money to the agents.
Yes, you pay money to get you the girl and also transport to get you
And where was
that
she
girl
from?
to your place. She was coming from Busia. Now to ask the girl, "So how are you going to go back if your mama has told you not to go?" I'm going, but she's going to ask the agency to take her back home. So I called the guy, I asked her, "Do you know about this?" The girl is saying she's not coming anymore because you're asking to take. Is
Her
that
first
even
salary.
real? Her first salary, the whole of it, she has needs. She needs at least like a 50%.
At least take
Okay,
50,
exactly.
take a
If you've been
percentage.
ruthless enough, take like a 50% and let the girl leave. She's like, the guy of course denied. So I asked the girl, "Tell me the truth." She's like, "Yes, that's the truth. Even they have my ID,
Can you imagine?
my national ID." So I asked the agency guy, "Are you going to refund back my money because the girl is not working?" Do you know that guy hung up on me?
Where did she say she comes from? I'm still curious.
Aha! The girl was coming from Kasangati.
You guys. You probably paid because Busia isn't it like 70K?
Kasangati.
Wow.
80K.
Wow.
80K. Now, to make matters worse,
Economy.
because the guy was angry, he told the girl to walk up to Kasangati because the girl didn't have any money.
What about
Remember,
her ID?
Meanwhile,
I hope she got her ID.
I don't know what happened, but I also had to add more money, so she goes back home.
Bambi.
That is what is happening in the country. So anyway, for me, the agencies, the reason why I end up with agencies, even when I say I won't go back, because maids just leave anyhow. Like they give you no notice.
Yeah.
And these agencies normally have readily available people who can start even the following day. You get. So yeah, agencies I wouldn't recommend. If you're able to get from referrals, well and good for you. But for me, that has failed. I end up with agencies.
I know for you kind of have no choice. But this man, you know me nowadays, I communicate. I said, when you want to leave. I told them the ideal is 1 month. But if it's an emergency.
How do you enforce that?
I do not allow you to go. I don't pay you.
No, it happens after payment. You know that.
Like I'm going.
Hey! Actually, for me, I've realized I don't know.
I say you can't hold on to the
the
You
payment.
can.
Someone was telling me do it Indian style. Pay them every 15th. Like they work half that month, then pay. Then the next month. But I feel like that is also exploitation because remember, they also have needs, you know. But the agency is actually the root cause of all our problems.
Let me tell you, a friend of mine, she got a very, very nice maid. I think she was or she was at the university, or she had just finished. I don't
A
even
maid?
know. Yes. Okay, she got a very good maid, but I think
Red flag 1-on-1.
why?
Why would a
Too
university
educated,
graduate want to be a maid?
Something like, what if she did a diploma or certificate? Something like that. But she was from Makerere.
Hello? In Uganda?
Yes.
Depends on the
Wait,
money you have to pay, Aisha.
Okay, yeah. I had forgotten that Catholic state.
has life has ever
But
beat
what
you
is
and
the
that's the
salary
available?
like?
I don't
700K.
know. I don't know.
Maybe I would work.
So, she came and worked properly. Very nicely. Eventually, when, after some time, she started saying that she wants to leave. But you really see that she's saying it from
It's
a
in
painful,
pain.
place. If I want to leave. Kumbe, it was the agency she got the job through. Who was calling her because she had overstayed, calling her so that she goes to another place and make them some more commission. You get? So, I'm like, okay, so this is what these people do.
Of course.
So this chick, I think, for some reason, found a way of breaking off from the agency and ended up staying long at this friend's place. Then she got another maid. Eventually, this one also left because, man, someone from Makerere over certificate, over what?
Of course, has to get
Has to
another
move
job,
on.
Yeah.
So she got another maid from an agency also. This one came, you guys, she works like either 1 or 2 weeks and said she wanted to leave.
Yes, that's what happens.
She ended up in the same neighborhood. This chick met her in the neighborhood.
Wow.
And I'm sure when she was leaving, she feigned a story of I've lost a relative. Or
Those
my
things.
mom has told me to stop working.
She ended up in the same
A maid was telling me that died,
neighborhood.
but do you know, without emotions? Yeah. My father has died.
At least really still he's
yeah.
lying. She's lying. One told the boss that the dad had died.
with remorse.
Wailed, cried,
Okay. That
like
is dramatic.
roll out crying.
Yeah, it's not true.
And mine told me that it was a lie.
Like in the same neighborhood.
I mean,
You guys.
but on the story of agencies and all that, you know, these aunties I was telling you about, they also do the same thing.
They are also an agency of sorts.
Exactly. Because my previous house help also told me the same thing, which had spent like a year. They first called me. Like, I couldn't get you. After I was like, my thing is so I now come and tell my kid. So and so has called me saying, boy, to find out how you're doing it. It's like, Akurimba. Yanko, like she's lying to you. She called me and talked to me, but me, I didn't give her time because she was telling me ABC.
There's
Like, yo.
There's also an auntie like that.
We are
Now
real
you've remembered.
suffering,
I've remembered the story. There's an auntie like that.
Yes.
She brought my friend a maid. This chick came. The first one was super good. She had stayed over 3 years from this auntie. So she was like, hey, this one got me a good maid, but let me get another one. This one came to finish her off.
They start off well.
This one didn't even bother to start off well. She came with a mission. First of all, she came and was disorganizing her house.
Wow.
Disorganizing her routines with her children. I think she didn't just want to work. Maybe she was forced. You know, there are those maids also who their parents force and then they tell you to pay them, not the girl. You get?
It just
So
happens a lot.
I think that was the scenario here. So the girl was not being paid. They were paying the parents.
Wow. That's slavery.
Slavery.
Yes.
It was
Yeah,
slavery.
slavery.
But now they are
It's
your
going to say
child.
child labor, but sometimes they're not children, so slavery.
So this chick came because she wanted to leave. She was just chaotic. Eventually they let her go. But then she later revealed that this is what was going on, and that was her dissatisfaction when she was leaving.
Guys, your stories are funny, but I want to end with this one.
Another story.
I'm telling you, the stories never end.
There's this maid, my friend. She was so weird. I think by the time she got into that home, she had made up her mind. She just wants to get married. So she had this thing of she doesn't take any instruction from her boss, the woman. It's only daddy. But me, I was like, you know what? That's one a J Wang. Hey, I would show her shege. Because I mean, like these girls, do they even understand what brought them home?
I said, do they care? That one came with
Then she was there, either after having dinner, she would get her towel proper.
She came with a towel. Oyonga was
town girl. She would get her towel nicely and move through the whole house. Bouncing through just so that the guy can see proper. I was like, you guys have stories. But anyway, we can't really exhaust these stories.
Like there's this one when you talked about daddy. Right, there's one who noticed that, every time it was like evening time, like she would see her house up like, hey, shower with she
Lipstick.
So when she asked her, she was like, Auntie Daddy, I no come out singing.
But daddy should come back and find me looking nice.
Hey. I love that.
It must have been said innocently.
I don't think so. I think it was deliberate as it can be.
But what will you do? Will you wash off the lipstick?
You fire.
Nah. No, be so petty.
No, there are some people who are specific.
They will lead your husband into temptation.
This is the length of your thing. I mean, anyway.
No.
I think they will lead your husband into temptation.
But also, your husband is already laid. What? Some standards have to be maintained.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So if
Daddy has to come back and find you.
no, I mean it's your husband.
Daddy should not be
led into
by
temptation
small things
over
like that.
small things and you tempted. We're not giving that much power.
No, we're not.
Oh, ladies, it's time to wrap up. Oh, do a part 3.
Before you do, may I have I watched a YouTube video where some lady hired a maid. I think it was Kenyan. She hired a maid, but this maid was a devil worshipper. Real devil worshipper. She came with a mission. We had to sacrifice the lady's son. So it's like a video on YouTube. So this lady, maybe she was narrating this story while crying. She wasn't so deep-rooted in her relationship with God. So there are some things she would see and she would just she would ignore. There are some things she would see and this one just came from the village and all that stuff. And this girl was indoctrinating the child. She would use him in herbal rituals. Like he would make this child participate in herbal rituals. Remember, we are working. Especially when these kids are young, they're not yet going to school. They are home all day. This chick would do cut, like when she's cooking meat, like weird stuff, you guys. Then she would write, those ancient things of witchcraft. She would like inscribe them like under the bed, on the roof, on the wall. She would inscribe them, do herbal rituals at night, make this woman fall into deep sleep and do herbal things.
No.
Yes. So this boy used to get sick all the time. This chick used to get sick all the time. She would lose her job out of the blue. Kumbe, this chick just, like the Bible says, the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. This chick came to do just that.
So
like
how did you know?
She now prayers. Eventually, even the meat she would cook, it would be weird meat. And you wonder, is this like, now later, she was thinking retrospective, and I was wondering, now that I remember, the meat used to taste different. The beans used to taste different. Maybe she should mix like the things. Like, devil worship. Wow. So, she finally, like things, like very big things started happening. Windows, like in the middle of the night, windows banging. Then her like waking up and chanting, like she's doing good things. Or like she realized late, like when she had spent like a year or so with her. So the child had been indoctrinated. The child had participated in rituals. The child had, for me, why I'm sharing this story is, even when you're not spiritual, or you don't believe in these things, don't be pray. Take time and pray for the people you bring into your house.
Yes.
Absolutely.
When I watched this video, it broke my heart. Imagine an innocent child being introduced to witchcraft.
Oh,
And continue praying even.
So,
yeah, pray.
Bambi, pray for the people you bring into your house. That's why I resorted to referrals, but you can't
But now
only
they
use
install
referrals.
cameras. Okay, I know the video is already too long, but I'm praying that each of us can afford at least one camera at home, so you can watch for yourself. You guys, the things I watch on my camera sometimes, I know they are cautious because they know they are there. But I'm imagining, what if they were not there?
Or what if they didn't know that it was there?
Yes, and people that hire maids that are evil have very bad stories. You've heard of maids that molest children,
That beat children.
So be on the guard. Make sure that you know who you're bringing
Yeah.
in.
A little baby.
All these heartbreaking
When he was
videos
just
are
2
real.
years.
Wow. Anyway,
And
we really
like
can't
she-
exhaust these stories like
She
this.
planted for like when she noticed there was something off, But ultimately, even when you don't have all these things, just learn your child.
Yes.
Like
Bottom
learn
line.
your child. You may not be able to afford the cameras and all these things. Learn your child. Like watch his mannerisms. His because mine is a boy. Watch your child's mannerisms, yeah.
Yeah.
And so she noticed there was something off about her child, and so she one time decides to, like how I mentioned how my son, when he was like 3 months, every time they would go a certain corner, his
starts
something
crying.
would be off, yeah. So she also noticed every time it was shower time, the boy would be wailing and crying and also dressing up after showering. So this time, she like planted one of her phones and recorded. She says she never even managed to finish watching the entire thing. Like, like how you can say. I even get chills when I talk about this
I
story.
know.
I couldn't watch the video myself. Like, I couldn't even
They were
ask her to
battering
watch
the
it.
child.
Yeah. Like, you get
Even in your presence. Like you're in the house.
Yes.
They are just in
you're
the
in
bathroom
house.
right
What is
here.
even
You're
more
in the house.
heartbreaking? Because what if you're not there? What
So
happens?
honestly, like pray, watch your child, like, and as much as possible, like right from like, of course when they start to talk, it's a bit easy.
Easier, yeah.
So you can like probe your child, like, okay, how was your day? What did you do today? Like develop that kind of relationship with your child. But even when they're babies who can't talk, like at least there's something you can know. When your child is not well, they lose appetite. That's
lose
when
weight.
they don't want this particular person to feed them all of a
Yes,
sudden.
yes.
Like those small things. Because children feel energy. So
Yes.
when they feel this person doesn't love me, even when mommy is not around, right now they're pretending, even when they're trying to say, oh, eat your food. They can't tell. But above everything else, just pray for your children and pray for your family, because it's not just about the children. Like pray for your family and whoever comes in your family, like Robinah said. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. This episode got me a bit emotional because we can't do anything without maids. But then, what do? We take precaution. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming this far along. We hope you learned something.
Yeah.
We hope that you will take certain measures for the good of your children, for your sanity, but also so you don't regret that you didn't take enough precaution. Yeah. Thank you for loving Timeless Conversations.
Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you.
Yeah. We love you, love you, love you. There's so much love from us to you. And thank you so much for always looking out for our videos.
Yes.
We pray that you will subscribe if you haven't. But also, please like and comment. Tell us, what are your experiences that side? What have you learned so far? What can you advise us to do better? How can we go about this whole experience? We thank you so much, and we can't take you for granted. Thank you so much to HD Media for shooting this wonderful episode and for supporting and believing in us.
Banag, I want to get to 300 subscribers.
Tell
We are
your
just
friends.
30 people.
500.
Just pick a few people. Just tell them about timeless conversations so that they can. Let's make
Share the good
300.
news.
Share the good news. We are sharing big gems here.
Yeah, I know,
Please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about timeless conversations so that we can grow and continue bringing you great content and conversations.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.